Hello and happy Tuesday, everyone. This week I want to do something sort of back to basics. I like the simplicity of things, and so I've got this oak sapling here. So it's a little combination, something simple and something a little iterated, because we've got you can tell it's a swamp biome, but when I generate an oak tree, even in the swamp biome, it just generates as though it were any other oak tree. So it just generates like normal. So if we want to actually recreate the feel and the look of the swamp trees, we have to build this out. And you can see it still goes from a central 1 by 1, which then goes out, and this goes 1, 2, 3. So that's the traditional footprint at the very start. You just need to widen this. So we just go up, and then we add the faces. So it's basically, just the same basic footprint with extruded faces, and then the random removal of certain blocks from that basic template. But it just goes like that, and like that, and like that, and like that. And am I a geometry nerd? Only as much as I am a nerd in every other way, which is to say, I should hope a whole lot. But there's many ways to be a nerd, and sometimes it's also important to take a step back and not worry so much about what other people think about you. That's my preachy advice for this particular episode of House Trees. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Each one is 2 blocks high. So we need this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. I think like that. Does that look right? It looks right. Okay, I think this is working. So, I promised last time that I'd keep these episodes to an hour, and I accidentally did 2. So, we'll just have to see if I'm able to keep my promise on this one. I'm planning to do a simple build, nothing too crazy or complicated. But sometimes you just get hit with a vision, a bolt of inspiration, and suddenly you find yourself on the other side of a chasm, a great gulf in your own life, and you realize that something that you wanted for a long time has suddenly become realized, and it feels like you didn't actually even do anything for that to happen. And sometimes that just means that a certain milkshake is back at a restaurant you like. And sometimes what that means is that the United States ran out of money for bombing Gaza. Which, that's very on brand for American imperialism. They just love spending money on those projects. And, they also love running out of money, apparently. Let's see. So, we've got a nice simulation of an oak tree here. So we accidentally destroyed some floating vines in the process, but we've still got some little generation errors that I'm very happy with and happy to keep around. This oak tree is a little different, so now I think I'm gonna avoid overthinking this too much and just build out a perimeter. I don't know. I think this should have like a little balcony. I want this to be the living room. That's kind of the idea that I'm working towards. Because it's got like a pre-existing little water feature, and I like that. So, I don't know. Just looking at that, I think this is going to end up being bigger. But we'll just see. We'll see what the oak trees have to say. Because sometimes, as you might know, oak trees just decide to generate into ridiculous monstrosities for no reason, and it happens especially when they have like weird things in the way. So, yeah, this is another. Oh, okay, well that turned out well. But yeah, this one has a lot to grow into. Yeah, and then there's also this like sort of rounded form that sometimes oak trees will grow into. So even though they're kind of like the simplest, most basic form of Minecraft trees, they've been around since the very beginning, they still have like their own sort of unique flair. And I like that. There isn't really a tree that's like completely boring. Like, I don't know. I mean, to me, all trees are fascinating and wonderful beings, but I suppose there might be some haters in the comments, and you know what? The world needs haters, because if there weren't haters, there wouldn't be any lovers. Does that make any sense at all? I hope not. Let's see. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of this. We can do something like this. And there's the sun. Yeah, we started out in a very sort of gloomy vibe. I like a little sunshine. It just adds to any day, you know? It's hard to stay warm when the sun keeps you cold. It's hidden in the clouds, you know? But every cloud passes eventually. And then you die. Let's see. So what do we do here? I like that asymmetry. Let's make a little cubby in here. Yeah. And that's interesting, right? They added the block that allows you not to have to see the exposed wood rings, but they didn't actually incorporate it into the generation, because it would be a naturally occurring source for this kind of block, and it's more expensive. And I think it's just an attempt to make the resource more valuable. It's very funny. They even have inflation in Minecraft. You know, there's no political commentary one could make based on that. No, of course not. No, of course. It's totally fair and nice and great and perfect and well, you know, neoliberal. So, I don't know. I mean, do we really need that connection? What does that do? That just connects that to that, that to that. Yeah. I mean, we'll just see. We'll just see. Because I think there's I'm not entirely sure where this build is going. So I think it's probably going to have 2 levels, based on the way that this is forming. There's some rain. So I tried to turn on the audio for Minecraft, but just at a low level. So you should be able to hear some things. I know you can probably hear my mouse clicking. It's pretty, I don't know. I mean, I don't mind it. I think of it as like part of the ambience. But please let me know how you feel about it. If you'd rather not have the mouse clicky noises, I can set something up to work around that and not have to do that. And is that horse trapped now? I hope that horse isn't trapped. Possible. Okay, so then we've got this waterfall. That's fine the way it is. I'm gonna remove the dirt here. Just like that. And now I'm gonna try. No, let's do this. Let's just put in a floor here, because we can. You know, we've got the power, we've got the ambition, we've got the drive, we've got the compost clarity. You know, that sweet nitrogen, that sweet phosphate, the NPK is just hitting quite right. Here we go. Here we go. And then we have the little fireflies. So So there's a nice little little view on them. Let's see, do we make a railing? We've got these vines, so we can go up. That's kind of nice. So maybe we just do that, and then those will grow down. We'll be able to drop down into this area, but that'll still be not exactly creeper-proof. So we could slide in here with the leaves. The horses would get out of the way for a second. You know, they're a little rude. I kind of want to give them a name that is worthy of how rude they are being right now. Like, Interference Jones or James in the Way. James in the Way. Come on, James. Oh, James. James. You're silly. This horse is being very silly. Do you think it has room to get out? Or am I being, like, really unfair? Well, you know what? It's part of the house now. Yeah. Sorry, James. You have been recruited to be a part of this build now. Okay, so we go here. We can show you that. Pop that out. Ah, this is a good view. Let's keep that. And let's throw in a little bit of glass and a little bit of leaves, right? Just kind of mix it up. You don't need to be 100% draconian about what needs to be where. You just do a little mix. That. And that. Okay, that looks good. And then we can make this second tier up here. We've already got this, so we can just build it out. Okay, so we're here on the side that's not swamp trees, so I think that's perfect because this is more plains biome. We've got a couple of other strange generation errors, but I think I'm gonna leave this like cosmic jellyfish the way it is. Yeah, I think it looks cool. So it's more on this side that's more swampy. So I think I want to build this tree out and make the same sort of swamp deal going on here. Let's see. Why am I thinking about Shrek? I've been thinking about Shrek a lot lately. I think it's just like good practice. You know, I mean, Franciscan or just like monks in general would focus on thinking about the Lord, and Shrek to me is like a kind of god. So you know, when one has not religion, one finds substitutes, and obviously Shrek is an appropriate one because he is a swamp denizen. He is like a nature sort of appreciator sort of guy. He's also I find him relatable. I find him incredibly deeply relatable. I'm like, get out of my swamp. And I don't know. I would like to have a swamp, but you know, as a Gen Z, I think technically late Gen Z, 97 is what I've heard is if you remember 9/11, or if you don't remember 9/11, if you're too young to remember 9/11 actually happening, then you're Gen Z, and I think that's a pretty good definition. I think I just got a break from the rain somewhere. Got a break from the rain noise anyway. So I think that means I'm Gen Z, but you know, fellow kids, I don't know what to say. Oh yeah, none of us own homes, so it's the idea of owning a home in the middle of the swamp seems like already like a pretty big deal. So I can't tell someone to get out of my swamp if I don't have a swamp of my own. Jeez, that was a long-winded way to get there. Swamps. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, new Pope dropped. Pope Leo the 14th. He's American, So I guess now we'll get a papal decree on the value of cheeseburgers as a replacement for the communion. So it'll be Coca-Cola and cheeseburgers. This is my body, broken and poured out for you. You know, I mean, that I feel like Jesus would probably like. I think he might have a problem with it, to be honest. I think he might have a problem with it. Because it's all corn, right? I mean, they feed the cows corn, so that's corn. The beef is corn. I'm sure the bread is corn. Not for any like actual reason, but just because I just suspect that it's probably corn somehow. The sesame seeds, they make that out of corn. The plate, you know, the little plastic tray, that's made out of like corn bioplastics probably, you know. So I think Jesus is not a fan of corny. He's anti-corn. There we go. That one. And then there's a missing. Not really. Oh, we don't need to connect that. We can slow this down. Okay, so we've got like a living room sort of situation going on here. I think I'm gonna make that the way down into this space, but I do need to kind of fill this in. How do I do that? Let's see. We have got two. Let's see. Huh. I think this is a little tricky now. I mean, I could just build up and leave that at the base. And then we can come back to it if it's necessary to do so. And then this one. Okay. Okay, and then I just need to figure out where this is centered. And I think it's gotta be there. So wish me luck. And I have it. Good. That's all good. And then this can be here. Okay, how high up is that? Is that high enough? Yeah, that's high up enough. That's high up enough. High up enough. Okay. This is silly. This is very silly. This is turning out to be, oh my goodness, I think it's just kind of, it has a will of its own, you know? I'm trying to get like an even floor and it's just not doing it. It's alive! Frankenstein, but he's just taking credit for something that already exists. He like looks at a frog and he's like, "It's alive!" And he freaks out and then he goes to the Arctic and dies of exposure. Frankenstein's a jerk. Like in the story, like the Mary Shelley story, the original one. He's just a bad dude. He just lets the monster he created kill his wife, and I feel like it's probably because he secretly wants to get with the monster. Is kind of like the implication. Like this isn't just my opinion. This is like sanctioned. You know, this is like, and not sanctioned like in a bad way, but like in a good way. Like people are like, oh yeah, no, probably that's like the subtext because like, you know, I mean, in the story of Frankenstein, the guy, the actual doctor, is kind of in love with his best friend. It's very not subtle, but it's kind of one of those things where straight people reading the story will be like, no, there's no way. He just said he's beautiful and handsome and amazing, and everything he does is great, and he thinks about him all the time, and there's no way you should read anything into that. And then gay people read it, and they're like, oh yeah, no, definitely, he's gay for this, like, his friend. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, I guess sometimes it's up to you. It's up to your interpretation. But I will be judging you based on which version you accept. Okay. Yeah, how's that? Okay. I feel like we're onto something now. Oh, this is definitely getting wild though. Let's see. We can throw a couple of these in. We can do that. We can do that. We can do that. We can do that. And then, does this connect? Oh, please tell me this connects. Okay, fine. Yeah, no, I see what. You know what? I'm not even going to worry about it. I want this to be biblically accurate, but I only read the Bible twice, so I'm not going to pretend that I can get through it 100% accurately when I'm copying it down. Biblically accurate house tree. I don't know. The word treehouse already exists, but it's usually like when you staple a normal house to a tree, we call it a treehouse. So house tree feels like it's just different enough that hopefully it communicates the idea that the tree is physically the house and the house is alive. And you know, I mean, it's just my it's just my mental condition, whatever that is. Call it a disability, call it a compulsion, call it a neurosis, but whatever you call it, it's definitely true. I am weird about these tree structures. I have some kind of fascination with them that just won't go away, and this scratches the itch. So, house tree. Yeah, so this house tree is kind of getting way too big. It's getting out of hand. What can I do about that? Well, I don't know if there's much I can do about it. Let's try breathing exercise. Try it with me. It's called you breathe in, and then you breathe out, and then you breathe in, and then you breathe out, and then you breathe in, and then you breathe out, and then you breathe in, and then you're not going to believe what happens next. That's right, you hold your breath because you forgot to breathe, because you have an anxiety disorder. Yeah, no, that's correct. Okay. Maybe it's autism. Maybe it's poison spiders. Poison spiders. Poison spiders. Ooh, I should put a spawner in here. Did they actually let you put down spawners that easy again? Well, they did. How does this work then? Spawn egg, Ravager spawn egg. Where are the poison spiders? Where's the normal spiders? Spider. We could just do normal spiders, but I am a big fan of the poison spiders. So let's just see if maybe it's a matter of just plunking it down. Does that work? Is it that simple? I just guessed how it works, but I think that was right. So call me a genius, because I am one. We'll see if we actually see some. Wonder if I manage to cause a problem that's going to make them not. I think it might be too bright in the area. And it might be that it's because it's sitting on leaves that it doesn't like it. Now let's check on this. Can we actually get out of here? No. So if we remove that and remove that, then that's doable. So then that gives us another entryway into this level, which I like. I want to leave a little bit of a space in here vertically. So it's kind of gonna be this shelf here, and then this shelf here. And that's gonna connect like that. That's gonna connect like that. And then we can connect these two from here to here. And you can, I mean, you know, but this is from the last video. It's just in the background. I want to keep like kind of a coherent environment where I'm connecting structures, not just isolated, but they're kind of inhabiting the same space, so it builds up sort of over time. We'll see how it ends up looking. Maybe that works out, maybe it doesn't. I can always go further afield if that makes sense to do. But for now, I think there's plenty of room on this island to expand out a bit. So let's see. You come in from this door. There's going to be a door here, I promise. And you can fall right down. Perfect. So anyone who comes in is like under immediate duress. Yeah, I want to make sure that this build is as anxiety-inducing as possible. Let's see. If you don't have anxiety before you walk in here, you're definitely going to have anxiety once you walk out. Anxiety, anxiety. It's inside of me. Poison spiders, crawling through my nervous system. That's why they call me a nervous system. Okay. Let's see again. Oh, that actually looks really cute from here. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice little blend of different sizes and shapes and curvature. Yeah, and then from here, what does it look like from here? Oh, the soil is, oh, that is weird generation. Okay, so then it comes in. I think I might do something about the water. Just get that and fill this in so it doesn't constantly flow into itself in a way that looks kind of like messy. Yeah, but this, I mean, fills in this corner. That's a little silly. That should do that. That's okay. Yeah, no, that just looks a little bit more logical as opposed to looking logical. So, that can go like that. That's like a railing. That's like a railing. So this, and then you can remove that, and that, and that. And that gives us like a little bit of breathing room. And then we just need the roof. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and connect everything to a point in the middle. So I'm just going to use these blocks because I can just go ham and not worry about which face is being exposed as we grow up. And this one can go here, and that can go there, and this can go like that. We can bring this up, bring this up, and then we're going to subtract at the end and take away what doesn't really make sense. You just need to get a little bit closer to being there, and then it'll all come together. But like I said, I wanted to keep this like a more manageable side. I can't really see my clock right now, so I actually don't know what time it is. But I'm up late, just enjoying the nighttime vibe. Just enjoying the evening after a good long day, journey home. I'm not saying where I live, but I do take a ferry to get back from where I go to visit my mom for Mother's Day. Yeah, what did you do for your mom? Did you do something for your mom? Well, not all of us have moms. Not all of us have an easy time with our moms. I have a good time with my mom, but it took a lot of work to get there. It wasn't always easy, and I think sometimes, especially with family, sometimes you have to endure some difficult times in order to get to the good times, and there's a lot of give and take and a lot of compromise that's needed. I don't know. I mean, the pop psychology landscape has made the part where you say like, your parents were terrible, you should leave them and never talk to them again, really easy. So I feel like that part's been said. Although, if you have an abusive parent, it's okay. It's okay to disconnect. It's okay to take your space, even temporarily. Sometimes it's a long time. Sometimes it's just a short time, and you realize like what you need to do for yourself to make the interaction possible. So yeah, I know Mother's Day isn't always an easy time, but I hope you did something for your mom. I hope you found a way to connect. Even through the fog, even through the difficulty, even through whatever it is. Or maybe you just have a super great relationship with your mom and you have no idea what I'm talking about, and you think, oh, she's super toxic for suggesting that it's possible to have a difficult relationship with your mom. And I mean, honestly, if that's how you think, you're probably, I don't know. You're lucky. Good for you. I'm happy for you, actually. Legitimately. Let's see. Here, let's get back to the build. Because I am rambling and bambling quite a lot today. Let's see. I saw a pupa. My mom was trying to get me to identify it. It was from the garden. But beetle pupae are really hard to identify at that stage. There are like a million beetles. They all have, this little pupa that looks like a little poplar bud. Yeah, just like a little waxy, a little red. Hard to tell. Could have been anything. Probably wasn't a Japanese beetle. Those are a little bit more teardrop shaped. This was more like elongated. But honestly, I don't even know if it's that much of a difference that you'd be able to tell. I don't know. For those who don't know, Japanese beetle, it's an invasive species where I'm from. So it's it's not a symptom of a bias to say that. It's just they're beetles. They're originally from Japan. They're invasive where I'm from. That's it. Don't read it. Don't read it. Just goodness. I'm never beating the allegations. Okay, so maybe if I can't beat the allegations, I can emotionally manipulate them. Oh my goodness. I don't think that's helping my case. Maybe I can gaslight the allegations. I also don't think that's helping. Okay. Maybe I can communicate in a respectful way with the allegations and help them to see my point of view, and if that fails, I can always turn to litigation. I'll get my finest lawyer, who I pay in Cheetos, whose name is Mr. Cheetos, from the grocery store, and he will litigate, and it'll be great. And I'll probably not go to jail. Maybe not go to jail. You know, I've been looking at the analytics, and there's been an uptick in viewers lately. So if you're new to the channel, well, hello, welcome. Nice to meet you. A lot of people seem to be seeing my video Markiplier Israel from 4 years ago. Blatant SEO trap, but I don't know, I just watched it and I'm gonna leave it up because it's actually kind of nice. It's just a little intro from when I first came back to where I live now. But it served its purpose at the time. It's just interesting seeing certain things come back into your life after a long time. I mean, I had no expectations that one was gonna do anything. But then again, the first time anybody paid attention to the channel was the video of me eating cereal for, I think it's 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Still, some of my best work, actually. I ate that cereal in a very usual way. And if there's one thing that I know I'm good at, it's being incredibly usual. Like a Pokemon. You know? I mean, Lickitung, is a normal Pokemon. So if that's what normal is, I think I've got a good shot at making the grade for that qualification. I definitely can learn Hyper Beam. I'm very energetic and enthusiastic when I have a mind to be. Get a Red Bull in me, and well, you'll be surprised. Or I don't know. Sometimes just compliment my hair, and I'll be like, wow! I'll be off the walls for the rest of the day. I'll be insufferable. So, it's always a learning experience. Do you ever get just like emotions like out of nowhere, where it's like suddenly you're feeling a certain way and it has nothing to do with what happened during the day or anything? It just kind of like hits you, and it's like, I don't know, sometimes it's like melancholy, sometimes it's positive, right? Sometimes it's just like, oh wow, everything just feels like it's coming together. But more often it's just that looming despair. Yeah, no, you get that, right? I don't know. Am I alone? Am I alone in this? Well, it would be nice not to feel the looming despair. But I hear people take these things called antidepressants for those things. So, yeah, if that's something you do, and that helps you, then all the power to you. Okay. I feel like I've done something very silly, and I don't really know how to follow through with this, but I'll just keep adding to it, and we'll see. And I might light it on fire at the end just for fun, but maybe I won't. And there's some kind of, I don't know. So forest, it's a little bit narrower. So growth habit of the trees are a little bit narrower on the valley side, and a little bit more bulbous on the swamp side. So I might go a little bit more bulbous on the swamp side. But right now I'm just establishing like the basic shape of this like bell, basically. How does this work? There, and then this. And we can just throw in almost right. I think I'm gonna do that so it's like really clearly framed in. Watch me break every single rule I establish for how to build this. Like, oh. Everything needs to be a continuous trunk. No. Everything needs to be connected. No. The glass needs to be flush with the walls. No. That actually looks kind of neat. Okay, I'm kind of happy with that. And let's just give it a little. Let's try that. And then this, and actually, why don't we just we don't use that. Let's just make this simple, right? Pretty normal. Okay. Okay. Let's fly in here. What are we thinking? Let's throw some fireflies. Firefly bush. Another firefly bush here. We can just go a little nuts with the fireflies. Kind of Grave of the Fireflies style. I haven't watched it yet, no spoilers. But I hear that it's very upbeat and charming and not at all sad. So I'm expecting all of those things. And so I'm going to watch it on a day when I'm feeling particularly emotionally vulnerable and fragile. And I am certain that it will go well. That looks pretty. Go. Now let's go for glow berries. Where do we put them? The corners here. That's good. Yeah, right near the walls. I mean, I'm just trying to keep like a balance to the design. But you know, when I was an electrician, they said don't put the lights next to the walls, so you get the benefit of the full 360-degree sweep of the lights. I think that's like kind of a neat idea, but I also like the way that the light sort of like shines down the wall and then I don't know, it just kind of gives it. I don't know. I can't justify it. I can't possibly justify this. So here we go. We're just gonna fill out the shape of these leaves. Make it look a little bit more bushy. Just a bit, not crazy. And just enough to let it know we mean business. watch Dive Talks. I don't know. I love Gus and Woody. Shout out to Dive Talks and Gus and Woody. They seem like they. I question sometimes. I question sometimes whether or not that they should be in a life-threatening situation together. But you know, they seem to make it in and out of those caves all right. You know, I worry about them. I mean, I'd be devastated if anything happened to either of them. But you know, Woody especially. You know, I like his hats. I mean, and his smile. Woody could get it. Just saying. Let's see. Let's leave that. That's fine. And then we can leave that and just let the structure, the underlying structure, sort of peek out here and there. And by it, I do mean my groceries. If Woody offered to, like, get my groceries for me, you know, I'd be like, "Ah, thank you, Woody. That's really sweet and kind of you. You seem like a very sweet and kind person." I don't know what you were thinking. Poison spiders, maybe. I don't know. Not everybody wants poison spiders is the thing. See, I have this thing where I like tend to project that like other people want what I want, and I just love poison spiders, but not everybody loves poison spiders. And to those people I say, fix your hearts or die. Poison spiders are the best. Poison spiders fill the emptiness inside my heart. Poison spiders. Poison spiders. Poison spiders are everything to me. Poison spiders. Poison spiders. Poison spiders. Poison spiders. Everyone loves poison spiders. And if they don't, there's literally a mental health condition called pathological poison spider avoidance. And you shouldn't have it, or else you'll get sedated and confined to a mental health institution for your own good and subjected to exposure therapy of poison spiders until you are healed from your mental condition, mental illness of not enjoying poison spiders. Because I can't imagine the suffering one must go through, not being enthralled and in love with poison spiders. There's medication for it too. It's called Benadryl. Gotta take I can see the hat man, and he will heal your pathological poison spider avoidance. Don't take that many Benadryl. Just take the recommended amount of Benadryl and no more. And don't hat man yourself. It's not worth it. It's super dangerous. It's super silly. There's better things to do with your life, really. Seriously, even if you just want to have a crazy experience, and I mean, it's tricky. It's tricky because life is meant for the living, and yeah, you gotta have your adventures. You gotta do what's like engaging. What keeps you getting up. What keeps you returning to the journey of life. Right? You gotta keep finding what that is for you. But I guarantee you, Benadryl isn't it. Okay. At least not in recreational dosages. The glass, but I was looking for grass. Silly. Okay. There we go. And there. And pathological poison spider avoidance. And yeah, that looks okay. There's something off about it, but I can't quite put my finger on it. I think it just needs more, just another layer here. Right, and then this, and then this. Yeah, that's better. Just looks very natural. You can see the leaves from inside going outside, and the outside going inside. It's like an inside-outside sort of thing. And now doors. We should have some actual doors. I think I'm going to go with copper, as I like the color. We can get rid of that. That saves an inventory space, right? And this one. And there's the obelisk. Yeah, this one is much more of an environment than an actual dwelling or habitation. Let's see how far have our vines grown down. That's pretty good. Then there's another place to go down there. There's this. So you have poison spiders right in your own living room. Never run out. There's some llamas. There's some. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna leave it there for now. Thank you all so much for watching. I do a new house tree every week. If you like this content, you want to see more, please subscribe, share, give the video a like, and always remember, no matter who you are, no matter what you're going through, no matter what day of the week it is always Tuesday. And have a great day.